Welcome to another lecture, where we delve into fascinating topics in music, art, and beyond. I am Professor Alexei, your guide through the complex tapestry of cultural history.
And I'm Priyanka. Together, we'll explore the remarkable journey of Bob Dylan, one of the most influential figures in music history.
Now, moving forward, Bob Dylan. His influence, it seems, permeates every conceivable facet of popular music and art. You see, throughout his career, Dylan has been a chameleon of sorts, redefining genre boundaries and challenging societal norms. His legacy isn't merely limited to his prolific songwriting and musical innovation, but extends into literature and visual arts as well.
Yeah. When we talk about Dylan's influence, it's important to note how his music went beyond personal expression. It sort of mirrored societal changes during the 60s and 70s, a period rich with counterculture and civil rights movements. I think it's fair to say his work was a soundtrack to change.
In this context, we must recognize Dylan's significant role in the evolution of protest songs, often viewed as a voice for a generation seeking equality and justice. His transition to folk rock, arguably catalyzed by his seminal work in the mid-60s, encapsulates the dynamic shifts occurring in music and culture during that era. Let's get started by discussing why Dylan's work remains pivotal. In real-world terms, his work symbolized the essence of an era marked by counterculture movements. Academically, his influence on rebellious cultural shifts remains a rich field of study, often scrutinizing his stylistic transformations, particularly 1965, when the folk icon went electric.
His move to electric music was controversial and sparked debate. It's interesting how roles and ideologies clash when an artist breaks free from tradition. People still discuss what motivated those changes.
In fact, Dylan redefined what it meant to be a successful artist. Consider, he's been credited with selling over 125 million records. His ability to adapt and explore various genres, from folk to rock, and even gospel, is indeed fascinating.
And he ventured beyond music, publishing 9 books of paintings and drawings. It's kind of amazing how he merged his art with his musical themes, creating a holistic expression of his creativity.
Now, let us imagine 1962, the debut of his self-titled album, Bob Dylan. This was but a precursor to his turbulently creative journey, which saw him release the song Like a Rolling Stone just 3 years later, a song that shook the foundations of pop music. Furthermore, earning the Nobel Prize in 2016 marked the literary world's acknowledgement of the profound poetic quality in his songwriting. It's important to understand my own, perhaps invaluable, interaction with Dylan's oeuvre. As a young academic, first encountering his work through the lenses of both cultural and socio-political transformation, I found myself drawn to his intricate narratives and the almost mathematical precision with which he employed metaphor and imagery.
That's fascinating, Professor. I often think about how such transformative figures influence us in surprising ways, sparking curiosity in different areas of study.
Speaking of sparking curiosity, let's transition to our first big question: Dylan's electrifying shift in 1965. This pivotal moment at the Newport Folk Festival. Dylan's choice to embrace electric instruments initially alienated some folk purists. Yet, it also propelled a new, expansive genre, folk rock. Such transformative steps deviate from traditional constructs and demand closer examination.
I'm curious about the audience's reaction. So, was it just shock, or was there actual booing at the festival? And why weren't more open to the innovations he was introducing?
Indeed, the reception was mixed. Skepticism dominated some circles. Yet, clearly, this moment not only influenced musical expressions, but also encouraged an evolution in audience expectations, expanding their palette. Next, we shall explore the significance of his Nobel Prize in Literature. The award commendably acknowledges songwriting as a profound literary form, a medium of narrative storytelling and cultural reflection.
It makes me wonder, what criteria do we use to judge musical lyrics as literature? Are they judged the same way as traditional poetry?
The Nobel Committee, you see, embraced the complexity and lyrical depth found within his songs. To further elaborate, his works elicit emotions and intellectual inquiry, akin to conventional literary masterpieces, underscoring the art of songwriting as a legitimate literary form. Now, let us address our third grand question: the ambiguity surrounding Dylan's artistic identity. Dylan's shifting styles, marked by fluctuations between acoustic and electric sounds, are subject to endless speculation. The very nature of his artistic shifts beckons questions about creative freedom and adaptation in evolving cultural contexts.
Maybe it's just me, but I think about where Dylan's artistic journey might head next. Could there be new directions or unexplored avenues in his career?
In conclusion, we observe a continuous evolution and reinvention, yet much remains speculative. His legacy beckons further research and scrutiny for those intrigued by artistic transformation. To explore these shifts, one must embark on a journey reminiscent of navigating uncharted territories. Recapping, Dylan's influence across music and arts is both pervasive and indelible. Through deliberations on our three grand questions, his musical shift, literary accolade, and artistic ambiguity, we have merely glimpsed the surface of his expansive legacy, inviting you to delve deeper into such related topics as influences on modern songwriting. I thank you for joining us on another lecture.
And thank you, Professor. I hope this discussion piqued your interest, sparking curiosity about Dylan's enduring contributions.